the upside of this is pretty intense. But I know that Steve at times felt, hey, I've got millions of dollars wrapped up into a doorstop. This thing is worth nothing if it doesn't run. So yeah, we've got, three views going into this project where, obviously Steve has the money to front for the project. You've got people telling him, hey, yes, this project is viable. We can get that done. Freddie's, gung-ho, we're going to get this done in a week. It's going to be the best video in the world. It's going to be awesome. We can't wait. And, me as the realist, I mean, it was kind of funny at the very end, towards the end of the project, it was, we were talking about this exact situation, Steve's expectations versus Freddie's optimism versus, and I called it pessimism. However, I was corrected by them. They said, well, you're not really a pessimist. You're a realist. You can look at the situation and go, hey, this may or may not work, or, kind of bring people back down, get their heads out of the clouds a little bit. So it was a fun dynamic. And like I said, one step at a time, one literal step at a time, or 3 steps forward and 2 steps back constantly in this project to get it going. My goal, the end goal for the project, I felt needed to change quite a bit. Getting it running and going to SEMA was going to be an insurmountable task, in my opinion, and which it turned out to be. We did make massive amounts of progress to actually get the car to SEMA. However, it wasn't running, but it was a chassis. I mean, it had an engine in it and everything. So our initial week build, we didn't quite meet our goal. It wasn't a failure. I mean, there were a lot of successes. Honestly, we celebrated milestones as we went along, just stabbing the engine and transmission. We were celebrating and high-fiving each other because, as the project got further and further along, people were starting to grasp the enormity of this project. So getting to these milestones were big accomplishments. So putting the motor in was a huge one. Just pressing the start button and seeing lights light up was a huge one. I mean, later getting the hybrid drive assembly battery in, the high voltage battery, and getting it communicating with the MCU and the hybrid drive and getting it to turn. Just even turning in the wrong direction was a celebration. I mean, it was huge. So, when we finally did, press that button and it ran, it was huge. It was huge. I mean, there were tears. I mean, there really were tears. So it was a massive accomplishment. Freddie is the eternal optimist. He's always going to look at the best outcome for a situation, and I love that about him. That's fantastic. There was it was a challenge. It was a challenge for me to express my true feelings about the project. To let people know. I mean, you have Freddie propping everybody. Hey, we're kicking ass. We're taking names. We're making progress. This thing is going to run, and everybody's like, yeah. And I'm looking at the project going, that's not going to happen. So there was, like I said, there was a little bit of not head butting, but it was diametrically opposed opinions on the project, and it was pretty wild. We'd have these little meetings beforehand, and I'd be like, all right, well, I know we're pushing for this goal to make the car run, and I know people want to hook up lines and put fluids in it, but we're not even close to that. We would be better off spending time putting, if your goal is to get it to SEMA as a roller, you'd be much better off trying to put the suspension on and the wheels and that sort of stuff. So let's kind of pivot our direction so that we can hit this goal now, because this goal of running is a fantasy. This is not going to happen, not now. It may in the future, but not now. So I don't think Freddie and I ever really agreed on, hey, this is really going to work, until the very, very end. Once I saw that all of these things were finally in alignment and we were going to be able to make that progress. To put this into perspective, you can buy a P1. You can spend the $1.5 million, $2 million, whatever it might be, to buy a P1. The amount of money that's into this P1 is far beyond what it would take to buy a P1. However, the end result is going to be something that is absolutely unique. This is a one of one. This is a McLaren P1 that was not built in the UK. This was American built in 2026, coming to life. I mean, it's the upside of this is pretty intense. But I know that Steve at times felt, hey, I've got millions of dollars wrapped up into a doorstop. This thing is worth nothing if it doesn't run. I don't think he ever gave up hope. I mean, he wouldn't have had us come out multiple times to do this had he given up hope. But he expressed his immense relief when this thing finally fired, that, hey, this has value now. It wasn't a waste of millions of dollars. I mean, this is fantastic. So yeah, there was a huge relief on that part.
This month of VINwiki content is brought to you by Bridgestone, and the most exciting tire from Bridgestone right now is the brand new RE71RZ. That's their extreme max performance summer tire that is championing pole position. It's built for the grassroots motorsports crowd and offers much better on-track wear patterns than we saw out of the amazing RE71RS that it is now replacing. It uses Bridgestone's enlightened technology to deliver long-lasting performance and much more responsive control. And the RE71RZ is now available across North America in 45 sizes since December 31st of last year. This new tire meets all requirements for SCCA racing and will be eligible for competition use in 2026 for solo and time trials. This new tire is 0.74 seconds faster on a dry lap and 75/10 of a second faster in a wet lap compared to the outgoing RE71RS. This really is an amazing new sports car and supercar tire from Bridgestone, so check it out now, along with everything else that we love about Bridgestone, at the link in the description below.